a hard time. And
sorry, I just was recording the meeting. I forgot, Andrew. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, that's okay. That's fine. So I thought it was the voice of God coming down or something. I was like, is this it? Is this like
I've got my like this is it. We're all going up now.
It's like it's the first installment of Leftovers 2. Anyway, sorry.
Sorry about that.
What was I talking about? Okay, so Catherine she's had a rough time, and she's out in the wilderness basically regrouping, and she's reading in the back of this little cabin where she is, and she notices a fox, and he progressively gets a little bit closer as she's out at the end of the day reading, and that's how it begins. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's just a really amazing book. Fox and I, Catherine Raven, that's from Spiegel and Grau. Yep. We're very excited to be distributing them. So two amazing women editors of note from a larger house that have formed their own. That's right. Has formed their own literary press, and we're very excited about this book.
Yeah, Amanda cannot stop talking about it, and Sarita's in the thing. I think this is in stores now, Sarita. So I think we've got some at the store.
Yep.
And everybody that's read it, it's just can't stop talking about it. So it absolutely is going to be one of those books. And Spiegel and Grau, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, they started at Riverhead, correct?
That's right. Right. They were the founding editors of Riverhead.
They're founding editors of Riverhead, and they discovered Kite Runner author Khaled Hosseini.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah.
So among many others.
Yeah. They have a great track, and I just love that this is their inaugural title here, and they love this book so much that the colophon on the side of their books will have an image of a fox as part of the.
That's their branding.
Yeah. So I think it's just very exciting, and I'm sorry I'm talking so much about it, but Amanda said she cried when she read it. So
no, it's a good one. And I think that's the thing. I just bring up the other stuff to just let people know that these ladies have their chops in, I mean, they kind of know from what they speak of.
They are great publishers, and it's exciting to watch them launch this new publishing venture separate from the big.
From all the big, it's really kind of fun. Okay, Gabe, what you got for us today?
I'm going to start with.
I didn't do the screen share. Hold on.
Yes.
Oh, see, I'm doing everything wrong today. It must be a holiday, and trust me, I really haven't started drinking. I have not tried.
It's a holiday.
Today. So we're Harper. We're not introducing Kendra Allen to the world. Kendra Allen has had a very well-reviewed career, is very well-respected literary author. She's a writer of all sorts. She writes essays, and this is a new collection of poetry from Kendra Allen, who writes, particularly here, the themes explored are Blackness, sex, and personhood. Kendra's specialty, if you want to call it a specialty, what she does and has done really well has been write about herself and intersectionally write about the culture at the same time. So she sort of brings this, the self and society and how we interact and how we intersect with each other and the world. So big thinker, wonderful writer. We got a killer package on this thing, and I think we're living in the world of let's everybody get woke and bringing you a Black author. And the reason we read other authors of other backgrounds than ours is get a bigger take on life, and I think Kendra does that in a big way. She will put you in her place, and you will see her world and her vision of the world. And in this terrific language, very short, very accessible. So I'm really looking forward to this book getting out into the world. It goes on sale tomorrow. I've been waiting to talk about it for weeks. It's one of the exceptional things. Comes from Echo, which is our literary imprint, and Dan Halpern, who was the editor there until just recently. who's a big word guy, a big publishing figure, thinks it's one of the more interesting voices he's run across in the last many years. And Echo is one of the few big major houses. Harper, through Echo, is one of the major houses that's still publishing original,
Oh, I think we lost you. Oh, there you go.
Treat yourself. Oh my God, did you lose me?
Yeah, just for a second. We got you back though.
My internet been funky today. I've had, I've been watching TV and everything's really slow when you go to stuff. I'm only
It's a holiday.
Don't matter. I'm running at like 230. I'm paying for 400, whatever pixels or things that you do pay for.
I know. It drives me crazy.
arms.
We do that too. I know.
But anyways, collection plate by Kendra Allen. It's you'll see it when you walk in the store because it's really distinctive.
That's a spectacular jacket.
Yeah,
It's a great
it's amazing.
cover.
It's a great
It's
cover.
a winner.
And it's, poetry has been so, people can't get enough poetry right now. Still from last year. So it's a good collection. Okay.
Sorry, it doesn't want to let me unshare. There we go.
There
Sorry.
we go.
Kept sliding up the right. Couldn't get my mouse up.
I thought I was going to have to start talking with that
With Kendra, yeah.
beautiful jacket on the cover.
Good image. Good image.
It is
An
a good
image. All right,
But I
Don.
have another image. I have a different image, which I'm going to hold up here. The Paper Palace. Oh, what does Julie have? Oh,
What does Julie have?
there we have it. We both have the same book. That is always a good sign.
Always a
Like,
good
in the quality
sign.
color. So, to me, perfect summer read. This is the summer read I've been waiting to get in bookstores. It's on sale tomorrow in hardcover. It's set in Cape Cod over the course of 24 hours. That's deceptive because she ranges over decades. Like there are events that are happening in these 24 hours, but then she takes you back to the past, kind of chronologically in the past up to the present in flashbacks. But Elle is 50 years old. She's happily married, but there is the childhood love of her life who she remains very close to. And it's not giving too much away, I don't think, Julie, to say that in the opening pages, we find out that the night before in this 24-hour period, she had sex with her childhood love, like the love of her life. Now they're both middle-aged and consummated what had always been kind of brewing between the two of them. So it's really a woman at a crossroads, like trying to decide, which path her life's going to take from this very critical moment. The Cape Cod setting is fantastic. The Paper Palace are these cabins that really exist. I'm sure this is based on Miranda Heller's
Has to
life.
be.
Yeah, I don't know that for a fact, but I'm sure just like Elle, she went back to these cabins in Cape Cod summer after summer. So you've got it's great nature riding, you've got the water's edge, you've got the lakes, the ponds, and you've got this family drama, family dynamic that is the page turning. I found it really you want to see how does it end up. So it's a love story. It's a summer read with just a lot of depth, more depth than it gives you both things: a literary novel, but a commercial page turner. So if you like Emma Straub, even if I think you like Ann Patchett, of course, but also Big Little Lies, readers of Big Little Lies. So a lot to love, and I'm sure Julie might add something at some point.
We can talk about it a little. We can talk about it together because it's one of these things that. And Amanda, make sure that when we do the Tea Time e-blast that you put this in for me too, because we need double duty on this. I've loved this book, and it's because it's kind of saucy too. It's got it's a little bit juicy there. So it makes a good little summer read for that. But and the thing about Elle, she's married to a great guy. I mean, it's not like her life is shit or can I cuss on here? Maybe.
I'm gonna start.
We'll find out.
I am now. But it's not like her life is terrible. So it's just this thing that's been brewing for over these decades. Oh my God, it was really a great read. And so I read this a long time ago too, and I've been waiting because it's like the perfect read for the summer because it does have that page turning quality. And I was doing a book talk the other day and we were talking about, I realized I really like the dysfunctional family dramas. Those are kind of my thing.
Really, if you were finding yourself recommending
Finding
one
myself
after
all
another.
these, every book I
Right.
was recommending is like, well, it's another family drama.
And this
They're
is
also good.
this is that, but not that, but it's not, like you said, not that dysfunctional. 'Cause
No. No,
she has a good life. She has
she has
she
a
has
good
kids.
life,
She has
you know.
a good British husband.
Right.
Um,
But I mean, bad shit has to happen. They're going.
yeah,
I mean, and so that's what keeps the pages turning, is that, you know,
Absolutely.
there's something bad's going on, but you don't really know. And then it's Paper Palace. I'm telling you, it's a great book club book, I think.
yeah, perfect.
Yep. All right, Andrea, what do you got?
I am going to do a little summer gift book for you. Can you see that cover?
Yep. Yeah.
This
Ooh.
is called Stay Wild.
Woo.
Cabins, Rural Getaways, and Sublime Solitude. And that's from Gestalten Publishers. And they're from Germany. It's one of our overseas publishers. And it's basically a book about leaving the city behind to switch off, reconnect with nature, and fall in love with the natural world once again. And it presents some super cool tree houses, cabins, houseboats, yurts, shepherd's huts, and teepees from all over Europe in the main. So this is for travelers who are chomping at the bit to get out and to do some overseas traveling, but are still kind of a little wary of, being in a congested city. So, and I'll just sorry, I don't know if I can do this and
No,
show
no,
you
we
this.
can see it.
Yeah, so there's a great page. This is it's a nice coffee table book too, so it's like kind of a dream book as well. But it gives you some ideas of places to stay and what you got going on. This is in tree houses in Scandinavia, super cool. I think this is an excellent book for right now. I think it's a nice gift book, but it gives you some ideas for European travel and like getaways overseas. It's $60 hardcover, 260 pages. And that's from Gestalten, like I said, and that is out now. Came out at the end of June, but I just wanted to make sure that people saw that book. That's called Stay Wild.
I think that
Cabins.
sounds like,
That looks cool.
that looks
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, they do a great job. All of their they have kids books that are really beautiful too, but their adult sort of dream getaway books and travel titles just are mind blowing. I mean, they're like travel and lifestyle. That's what they do, really. And I think those books are so beautiful. And I think this is a winner. I think it's perfect for the Warwick's crowd.
I do too. That's what I was just thinking. It's like, that's a perfect one for our customers. What do they call it? What do they call it when you do a board with like pictures?
Dream board.
Dream board. Yeah. That sounds like it would be one of those.
Yeah, this is Dream Board in book form.
Dream board
Thank
and
you.
book form.
Thank you for that handle.
that's good.
I
You
know.
don't even have to put it together. It's done for you.
It's done
I
for
know.
you. It's already
the best
there.
kind of dream board.
Exactly.
You just pull it, just pull it off of the, your coffee table, and there you got it.
There you go. All right, Gabe, what do you got?
I got good stuff. That's
You
what I
got
got.
good stuff, man.
I got good
Go.
books today.
You do.
Um,
You always have good books. We all have.
I have
good
a
books.
fun book that I think, if you like Kevin Wilson,
Oh yeah, I do.
as a really, really fun author, did the Family Fang, and most recently,
Nothing to see here.
what's that?
Nothing to see here. Wasn't that him?
Yeah, Nothing to See Here, which was just like brilliant. That was a brilliant book.
Brilliant.
I think we have something that's for that somebody who likes that quirky novel with a quirky character. Our protagonist in Nobody, Somebody, Anybody, written by Callie McClory, is a young woman who's studying for the EMT exam. So she went to this great university and she wants to be an emergency medical technician. And she is studying for the boards for the exam. And in the meantime, she's working at this yacht club. So in this yacht club, she got nobody she knows. They're not her people. It's nobody she knows. She's in a strange environment. So what a lot of this book is loneliness, and the loneliness that you find yourself in when you're amongst a lot of people, even and the isolation that she herself creates in her intense need to pass this test. She spends most of her time, when she can, studying, and so she's kind of isolated. Makes a friend, one friend. Her mother has just passed away, so there's a whole series of events that have brought our protagonist to this point, and she's pretty stressed out. Amy at this point is she's kind of getting a little angry. She's a little paralyzed with indecision, so she's suffering from anxiety, obviously, and it's sort of snuck up on her. But she's had a lot going on, and she's trying to pass a stupid test, and she's really uptight. And so what she decides to do is she decides to placebo herself, is what she calls it. So she actually, in her mind, tells herself, I'm taking the exam. I'm passing the exam. I've passed the exam. Makes her own certificate of having passed the exam. So she puts herself on the other side of the exam in her mind, which is kind of brilliant. I remember Basic Books, which do really brilliant books, did a book one time about self-delusion and how little self-delusion is good for the soul. I think helps us get us through the day. Well, that's kind of what's going on here. So she begins a sort of social experiment on herself. But aside all that, that's the setup. And inside of all that, she is going through her daily life and mishaps and everything that goes with this really busy, intense world that she's work, study, stress, school. And I think that Kelly McClory did a really good job. Amy's not completely lovable, she's not completely the dream protagonist that we all fall in love with. She's got some things which I think gives her a little bit of an edge. So I think a really fun character to get through with. I think the reviews are going to be pretty positive. It goes on sale tomorrow, and Entertainment Weekly named it the best debut read for the summer.
Love
we
that.
got a really, really fun package on there. I mean, Entertainment Weekly is about entertainment. We read for entertainment. Are you getting it now? Entertainment. So fun book. I think you'll really enjoy, sitting down with Amy and her world. And,
Talk to me about that. Talk to me about that cover, though. So it's a modern story, though, right?
It's a modern story. It's just sort of, it's the ironic woman in a situation, domestic. She works in there's a lot of things. When you read the book, it really ties in nicely.
So the cover makes sense once you're, okay. All right.
Yeah, once you're through it, it actually makes more sense. And at first I thought it's kind of one of those ironic covers or we're just using a provocative image to, which it is, but then when you read through the book, you're just like, it really comes around and makes sense. And
no, I think I need to pick that one up because I never thought that I would, just because the description of the Kevin Wilson book, I was like, okay, I loved that book. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to, because I always need something new like that. So
yeah, I think what Kevin did with There's Nothing to See Here was like, I'm with you, it's like, I just don't like the fantastical.
Right.
I mean, I don't mind.
I do, but it's like,
yeah, it's brilliant. Okay. Anyways.
Well, something about your description or the cover is giving me Otessa Moshfegh, My Year of Rest and Relaxation vibes.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. The cover sort of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're playing on that. Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, what do you got for us?
All right. Well, I want to just, one more thing about the Paper Palace that we didn't say, Julie, is there's a dark secret at its heart that you're also turning the pages to find out.
That's why I was, there is that kind of pulls it all together.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
So then I have, my next two books that was the first novel. The next two books are name brand bestsellers by some of our best authors. So on sale tomorrow, Michael Pollan. This Is Your Mind on Plan. So this is the follow-up to his best-selling, the last book, How to Change Your Mind, which was a detour from the books he'd been doing, the books about food that he'd become so identified with.
Mm-hmm.
But kind of a return to what he'd been doing early in his career with Botany of Desire, books about plants, except in this case, plants that have been turned into drugs. So the new book is it's based, their essays, a couple of them were published previously, but he's updated them and they read very differently now because the essay, so the three drugs in this book are, the three plants are opium, caffeine, and mescaline. That's the focus of the book, and the essays. He published the essay on opium in Harper's in the late 90s, but he had to, lawyers for Harper's insisted that he edit out parts of, because he had grown opium and that's a very dangerous thing to do, especially in the late 90s. And he always regretted taking out like pages from that essay. So they're restored here and they read, the way we think and talk about drugs today is very different than 20 years ago. That was more the height of the war on drugs. So really, he's, whatever subject he turns to is fascinating. He's a great writer. You'll hear, and he's about to be on every media, Fresh Air and all over NPR. So Michael Pollan fans will come out for any new book. And this is, if you loved How to Change Your Mind, perfect follow-up.
Excellent. Always love anything by Michael. Okay. I'm going to talk about one called The Sleeping Bear by Connor Sullivan. I don't consider myself a big thriller reader, but once I do, it's like I can't stop. So I picked this up this morning and already blew through 100 pages. Adrian read this, loved it, can't stop talking about it. She says it's one of the best thrillers she's read in a long time. In a nutshell, basically, I'm just going to read you what the back of the cover says. In this white knuckle debut thriller, an Army veteran is kidnapped in the Alaska wilderness, sending her father on a hunt to track down her captors and his old foe, the Russian government. So it's got everything. It's fast paced. It's well written. We're going to be hosting Connor on Thursday with our very own San Diego Matthew Quirk. So Matthew's a good dude too. So come watch us on Thursday, but I'm loving this. Like I said, I'm only 100 pages in, but I take Adrian's advice on thrillers because she reads a lot. She's a reader, yeah. She's a thriller reader and she's like, this thing's fantastic. So if you're in the mood for a good page turner, there you go. Okay, Andrea, I'm done.
That looks like a good book.
Yeah, we're time for lightning round.
I'm going to talk about We All Play. This is a gorgeous children's book.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is from Greystone Kids, one of our Canadian publishers. It's $17.95 hardcover, and it's out. And there's a couple copies at Warwick's for you. This is by Juliet Flett, a young, very super talented Cree Métis. Métis author illustrator who's already has a lot of awards under her belt. For her last book, Birdsong, was an ALA, American Indian Youth Literature Award honoree. It was named a Best Book of the Year by Publishers Weekly, School Library Journal, Kirkus Reviews, and Horn Book. I mean, that's like amazing that all of these establishments that write about and review books all agree that she's it. And so this is about it basically teaches children about the interconnectedness of all beings through playtime and what we all do together. So she's got a picture of bunnies, they're hopping and sneaking, and then she has pictures of kids doing the same sort of thing, and we play too. And you can see here on this page, it's parallel text. So the we play too is in Cree and then also in English, and that shows up throughout the book. And I mean, come on, look at this art.
It's gorgeous.
It is just so beautiful, and it's such a lovely story about just showing kids about all the animals and all the stuff that they do that we do as well. Even animals slip and slide, but kids do that too when they're playing, and they roll and they slide down hills, right? at the end, it talks about how we nudge and nuzzle. Oh my, okay, I'm sorry. And and animals take naps. They fall asleep.
Oh, my favorite thing to do.
Yes. And we do too. And it's just a gorgeous book. And then at the end, at the back matter, it has the names of all the animals in English and Cree, and the diminutives too. So like baby animals, what you call a baby animal in Cree. And I just think that this is such a lovely book, and it will augment any child's library shelves at home, little library bookshelves at home. And it's going to be a favorite for bedtime, I think.
What's the title of it again?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that is called We All Play
There you go.
by Julie Flett.
Love it.
That's beautiful.
It is really pretty.
Yeah.
All right, Gabe, what are you gonna do our lightning round?
I'm gonna take us home with this little lightweight, but not so lightweight favorite of mine. I picked this manuscript up, when it came in months and months and months ago, and I started reading it. And I am a big London fan. I really just love. I remember first time I hit London, I was like, oh man, no wonder Brexit happened, man. There were so many people of every different shade and color on the street. I could see how people could be resentful, but what a great town. What a great mix of people. So I picked this up and I'll give it a read. And I was going to save it for a better time. And then I thought it looks a little lightweight. It's probably not even my thing, but I picked it up. And I love this book. Kirkus called it warmly uplifting and wise. And it's just a delight to read. It's a memoir. Kate McDougall was a young woman at the time, or mid 2000s, early 2000s. She was working at Sotheby's. We all have that dream. We're going to work at Sotheby's. We're going to work at the Musée d'Orsay or someplace. And so she's doing what she wants to do. And then she had a little accident and almost destroyed a couple of small sculptures that were being appraised. And she's like, I got to leave this business. She wasn't loving it. And, the thought of destroying something that might be worth, tens of thousands of dollars, or who knows, the next one might be like even more. So she decides, and she had in the back of her head a dog walking service. And so she's going from this high-end Sotheby's job or eventually would be a high-end Sotheby's job, to walking dogs in London. And that's where the fun starts. It is just, it's got a little bit of everything. She is a young woman taking charge of her life. She's walking through London. So it's like a love letter to the city. She's walking through the various neighborhoods with the dogs. The interactions she has with these dogs who, some are from very posh neighborhoods. So some dogs need like a bath and a blow dry after they get walked. This other woman demanded that her dog had to be walked in one of those little baby jumper things. So that's, take the dog walk, put it up on your chest because he needs to feel secure.
Baby
so these
Bjorn.
dogs, they come with these their owners. They all have different owners. So she's got to negotiate that world. She loves the simplicity of dealing with the dogs. And as you keep reading the book, she's growing up. She teaches her boyfriend to love dogs. She marries her boyfriend. She starts having kids. She ruminates as she's walking the streets of London with the dogs. And I'm not even going to tell you the end, because at the end, you get to the end and it's a moment in time. And I always talk about, you guys, I don't know if you remember, but I love these moments in time books where this is where you were. You were in college, or you had these intense years and these intense friends. And then when you move on from that moment, those moments, you're in a different place, and those moments never come back, and moments like that don't ever happen. But it's just, it's really simple. You start reading it and you're just kind of like, it's not, it's this, literary marvel. It is just a fun paced read. One of the reviews, the Starred Booklist review, calls it perfect crossover Blah, 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 blah. Owner Future is a perfect nonfiction crossover for fans of British chick lit, like that of Sophie Kinsella. So it'll appeal to that world. But I just thought, I just thought it was a lot more than that. I really enjoyed growing up with spending those years where pages with Kate McDougall was just really enjoyable to me. So I would like to pass that on to everybody.
I like it.
One of those fun books to share.
Yeah. And I do like the ones that it's like, you get a little taste of what like London is and stuff. And I'm the same way. I love like just you peek behind the door a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. See all these,
Yeah.
and then her life growing up, and her personal experiences in the various places. And,
Yeah, but to go from Sotheby's to a dog walker, it's like talk about a crisis in your brain. It's like, wait a
Right.
minute.
but it was like the best thing, She said,
Yeah.
and then eventually she sells the service and gives the service up to somebody else, moves to the country. No regrets, but just a really lovely piece of time. So I
Yeah,
love it.
love it.
Following the dream. That's
Yeah,
great.
exactly.
I love stories like that.
All right,
So-
Tom, what's your lightning round?
My lightning round is the new Matt Haig. The
Oh,
comfort book.
Right
So this is the year of Matt Haig. We're living in the year of Matt Haig. So I love.
and
I
I'm sorry, can I just interrupt you for a second? I'm so
Yeah.
glad because I love him. He is the
I know.
nicest guy. And it's like, it couldn't be happening to anybody better.
I know. And I just read this interview with him where he talks about, because he wrote books, really good books, but in the early days, which we published all of them, but they weren't like from his heart. Like he was trying to write, I think he calls himself like a low rent Ian McEwan. He was trying to ape other more famous literary writers until he found his own voice. And it may have started like, and he just became himself, like to the world. He shares so much of himself on social media. So that's reason. So he's, aside from the novels, he's been publishing these little books. There was Reasons to Stay Alive, which is about his own battle with depression, but how we can all overcome these kinds of issues that we have. Notes on a Nervous Planet was about the burnout we all feel with social media, just the pace of the modern world. And now the comfort book comes just as the Midnight Library is, as I say, like, I think we're definitely past 1 million copies in hardcover with, it's not slowing down. So
That's
you're
crazy.
right. He finally embraced who he really is, and then good things came. So it's great. The comfort book, he encourages, the reader to open it at any, you can open it to any page, any chapter. They're if you're looking for meaning, encouragement, hope, all those things, and who isn't, it's all here. So I picture this at the counter at Warwick's. I haven't seen it for myself. On sale tomorrow. $22 hardcover, The Comfort Book by Matt Haig. But I'm so happy to have another Matt Haig book to sell, right
Exactly.
soon after.
Yeah, because that's why I was like, whoa, that came out. But then I realized it was more of a gifty kind of an,
Yeah.
essay kind of a book. Because I still see him showing up on the New York Times bestseller list. The Midnight Library is still staying on that list. And so for everybody that's already read it, now they've got something else that they can read.
And if you haven't read The Midnight Library, go ahead, just read The Midnight
Just
Library.
really that's another one that kind of has a little bit of fantastic, but just because of the time thing that happens, but it's so good. It's really done brilliantly. It's really a great book. Gabe, somebody on here, Beth, I'm not sure if you bought this book, The Dog Walking Agency, or if you bought a different dog walking book, but anyways, you're going to read a good dog walking book. So Beth's got
New
that
genre,
going.
the dog walking book.
I know, exactly. I don't know if it's the same London one or not. Okay, I'm going to close with doing my thing, which is, I always forget how to do this. It's like, I don't do it enough, Gabe. You do it enough to hear where I'm at. Here we go. Sharing screens. Okay, so here we are with some events that are coming up. So I already told you about this one with Connor. Tomorrow, we've got Janelle Zaleski. She's going to be talking about the Ice Swan. So there's got a little bit of Russian twist on that one. That's tomorrow at 4 at the same time. So here's the deal. You got to decide one way or another, but we'll be recording both of these so you can watch one. And then Christina Baker Klein has also got an event tomorrow at the same time for the paperback of The Exiles. So that's got some great guest appearances that'll be happening to it. So click on that link if you want. And then
That's where I go.
That's where you'd go. There you go. There's some good people that are going to show up on that. So anyway, so you've got that. You've got Janelle on Wednesday at the same time, but then Thursday we've got Connor Sullivan with the Sleeping Bear. I can't wait to hear him talk. He actually did the event that we did with Chris Hottie earlier in the was it this year? I can't remember. I'm losing track of time. Anyways, he's a great guy. And then on Saturday, we've got this great event, Sizzling Summer Read. So we've got the 7 Days in June author Tia Williams, and also let me click on this because I'm forgetting the title of the other book, is The View Was Exhausting. So there's some saucy sizzling reads coming to you on Saturday too. So easy to register for all of these. So still, booking some great stuff for the fall. We're actually going to start doing some in-person events starting in September. So
amazing.
I know. Although we were on a staff call earlier today, and Stacey, our children's mother, she's like, Julie, we're probably going to be having to do the mask mandate again. I was like, okay, let's just take this days at a time.
Exactly.
We'll do the proverbial pivot if we need to. So anyways, well, those were some great recommendations. Thank you all for spending a holiday. I know most of you are probably technically supposed to be on holiday, but retail never rests, right?
I love that.
An
Retail
hour
never
with
sleeps.
you is holiday, Julie.
That's right.
Exactly
There's
right.
no place we'd rather be, Julie.
And it's not really like working when you're with me, right?
I look
No.
forward to this for some odd reason. I was going to bail today because I'm like, I'm going to just nap out. And then it was like, I got some good books. I got to talk
Good
about.
bugs.
Yeah.
Hey, we had
Yeah,
like 20
Tom
people.
Benton's back from vacation.
You see if Tom
This is
Benton's
Tom
going to
Benton.
join us. We had 20 people here with us today. So thank you all for watching with us.
That's great. Yeah, thank
I
you.
know, we appreciate it.
Cheers.
So
Thank you. That's a good crowd.
cheers.
I haven't.
Cheers.
Yeah.
And have a good rest of your 4th, 5th holiday, whatever we're calling it now.
Yep.
And we'll see everybody next week.
Keep
happy
it light,
reading.
everybody.
Bye.